When the wind blows cold on the shores of Lake Erie, the Queen City moans her sad, lonely song. Her streets are empty, but for handfuls of scattered souls, scurrying to escape the chill. Most are gathered at the warm watering holes that garnish every street corner, offering respite for the weary. The air hangs thick and is warmed by the hot takes that resound from the wooden walls. We find ourselves on the doorstep of such a place, with the champions of mediocrity about to set off on another long-winded journey. The windows are already beginning to fog with the balmy bloviations. As the door creaks open, a rush of warm air ushers the velvet voices of the 716 Sports Podcast.
All right, so growing up, the trips that we always would go on were to my grandparents in North Carolina and my grandparents in Houston. This was what we did every summer. The day after school was out, we would fly to North Carolina, Pinehurst area, and hang out with my dad's dad and stepmom for about a week or so. Come home, week go by, and then sometime in like middle to late July, we would fly to Houston. And my grandparents, that's my mom's mom and stepfather, lived in Houston. And my mom's mom and stepfather lived in this nice community, and about, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, I think it's west of Houston proper. And they had a neighbor, and their neighbors had a son who was, I think he was a year younger than 1994. So they had a basketball hoop that had like the digital display keeping score. So this was something that we did for, I don't know, don't really get down there very much anymore. Did get down there in 2015. Before that, it had been 2007. So it was something that just kind of faded with time. I'm going to read this real quick. This is from October 26th of 2013. This kid, Ross, that I played basketball with, right? A man was arrested Friday in connection to a double murder in Fort Bend County, has now been charged. Investigators with the Fort Bend County Sheriff's Department have charged 27-year-old Ross Lawrence with 2 counts of murder. Deputies say that Lawrence, 2 victims were his mother and his father. So this happened in the house. The kid that I used to play basketball with murdered his mother and father in the driveway of the place that I used to play basketball with this guy. It's kind of a mind fuck to think that you played basketball growing up with a guy who murdered his parents. It's pretty weird, right?
Agreed.
This does not concern me as much as the current state of the Buffalo Bills offensive line. So, we got some issues here.
Yeah, it looked bad.
We were about 4 snaps away from witnessing a single murder of the Buffalo Bills quarterback, so I get where you're coming from.
So, and I don't say this poops with a guy who murdered his parents, but nevertheless, I digress.
Well, it wasn't,
and it's not going to be
they
very good this
They
year.
shuffled it around a bit. I'm right. So, Groy looked bad.
Terrible.
Roy looked.
But also the
Holy
tackles
cow.
weren't really the problem. It was the guard play that was really the...
You just shoved backwards for 30 consecutive plays by Geno Atkins.
Dukosmish.
He just got pushed around.
Geno
Rammstein
Atkins
joke
is
of the day.
great. Miles Garrett is great. But if every single week this offensive line is going to be so overwhelmed and not bother to make any sort of adjustments, because it didn't feel like any adjustments were being made. It didn't seem like you were changing coverages. You weren't rolling away from it. You weren't trying some, play actions or quick, like nothing was changing. It was just play after play. Boom, boom, boom. Atkins just rolling.
Yeah. And the problem isn't as much that Geno Atkins is great, because he is. The problem is that we're going to play 16 games against a lot of elite defensive linemen. There's a ton of them in the league these days.
And now what unit was I most worried about going into this season?
Punter.
I mean, the punter's going to get a lot.
Both those guys on our roster.
They get tire out Colton Schmidt. That's why they brought in Ryan.
You look at both on all sides. I mean, it felt more like the tackles against the Browns. Are you trying to tell me that Joey Bosa isn't going to be eating this team alive in week 2? Like, you can just line him up wherever you want to on the line. It's not going to matter because he's going to have the advantage.
Well, you talk about the lack of adjustments that you didn't see or whatever.
They didn't exist.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it makes myself feel a little better, actually, is because it's a preseason game. You got to remember, it's a preseason game. They don't game plan for these games. They didn't plan to protect for Myles Garrett.
At the same time,
I don't know. Maybe not with Myles Garrett. This is week 3. This is the dress rehearsal. The whole build-up to this entire week was Josh Allen is apparently starting to become the guy because he's getting the reps. They finally named a starting quarterback well in advance of game day. And then I don't buy that they're not making adjustments in at least the first half of this because you got to do something to stop that bull that's on the line that's just destroying your team over and over again.
And it's not like the Bengals were running complicated zone blitzes here. They were just running
No.
4-man pressures
just
and
a bull rush.
rushing
Yeah.
everyone every play. There was Lawson and Atkins and crew were not exactly dialing up the blitz schemes here. They were running pretty straightforward things too. And the problem is that they were just 10 times better than anyone got across.
See the
from
one
them.
play where Gray just totally just missed the guy, like just missed him
Just
straight
gave him
up.
the old Olay.
Was there a play where somebody wasn't just letting somebody go by untouched?
Well, they were getting touched, just didn't matter.
Geno Atkins just flat out embarrassed Dukas. Like,
Yeah, I mean Atkins is a top 5 defensive tackle, and if you're gonna give him that, I talked to Justin about it earlier. We were really looking forward to watching the game yesterday because I think a lot of us, and I would say all of us in this room, and a lot of you listening, were excited of football.
There was a lot of curiosity about what's going to happen.
And now we sit here. I think we're still curious to really dissect because half the time he was getting hit, he was getting rushed, he was moving around a lot. Not what you wanted.
Because it didn't seem like he had much time at any point. There were some, as there always is, and like you said, it's limited. There was some good and some bad. There were some overthrows. There was the
overthrow and underthrow.
Underthrow, overthrow, exactly. With him compensating for the bad underthrow, which seemed odd. I don't know.
There was a lot that went into those 2 plays because I think on that underthrow to Clay, where he definitely had a space to get that ball over, and it's not for lack of arm strength. We know we can throw the ball that far. That was a guy rolling out to his right, didn't turn his shoulder, kind of threw while moving against his body. Was that because on the previous 15 plays, he's getting driven into the dirt as soon as he touches the football.
and he was probably running at full speed for his life. But and then the very next play, he rips it 2 feet over.
There's no questioning his arm strength.
I still find his arm strength is mesmerizing.
Between that and that first throw, the first throw to Clay, where he just wound up like a Aroldis Chapman style and just threw it as hard as he could in the middle of Clay's body.
So, and that's fine. And look, I'll be honest, he's shown more than I thought he would have in terms of pocket presence, I guess I want to call it. Is that... he looks comfortable moving
awareness,
up,
maybe.
Awareness
in and around the pocket, and he did have a couple times where he did run away. But I mean, the multiple sacks that the Bengals were getting, he just wasn't getting much time. And look, we can all say whether or not we're for or against Josh Allen. I don't feel like yesterday gave. To me, it doesn't give either side any additional ammunition because it was an incomplete tape. I don't really know
if you had a strong opinion going into yesterday.
Gives me the opinion that maybe he's got the right mentality to play in the NFL. They're getting hit so often. How many drops did the Bills have also? I mean, all that would have taken a mental toll on a young quarterback.
And I've changed my stance on the quarterbacks a few times. I started off as saying, like, if Josh Allen wins, he's got to blow him away. It can't be close. And then I was like, well, if it's close, I feel like Allen should win it because his intangibles. He's huge, and he's got that cannon arm. Other guys just can't match. And now, after watching the game yesterday, I don't want Allen to start anymore. I was fully on the Allen train after the first couple of games. But now, if we get to play with this O-line, I don't want Allen playing until next year.
6 of 12, 34 yards, averaging less than 3 yards per completion, sacked 5 times, losing 39 yards. That's a net, of course, of minus 5 yards net passing. It looked like he was Not that it looked like. He was driven into the ground. His head through protocol. They cleared him. I have no idea who you send out.
I think you have to announce your week 1 starter prior to this game. If it's Peterman, you start Allen, and if it's Allen, you start Peterman.
Just go the opposite.
And you just
for
let
week
the other
one.
guy. You rest your number 1 guy. You can game plan with him. You can run him with the number 1s for the next 10 days. You can have everything going, but it should be either your number 2 guy and McCarron if McCarron is ready, or your number 2 guy and some guy comes in off the street and tries to win a practice squad spot as a number 4 quarterback.
Do you think McDermott's chosen or holding close to his chest, or do you think he still has no idea?
I think this team chose 2 weeks ago.
You think it's Josh Allen?
I think they want it to
I
be.
think they want it to be Josh Allen, and isn't it ironic that the guy who has performed consistently the best in the preseason is Nathan Peterman?
I think it's
the guy who inexplicably was put into that Chargers game, had one of the worst performances in the history of the league.
We learned a few things last
Still
season.
not inexplicable.
And
we could go on and on for the rest of our lives about that game. If we learned anything last season, I think we learned a couple. It's that this coaching staff sees something in Nathan Peterman that the fan base does not see. And I think all along, if it was close, that Peterman got the job.
he is a draft pick of this regime.
Mhm.
So that should not be lost on anybody.
Like, Allen is viewed as a project quarterback by everyone coming out. I think the coaching staff realizes he has room to grow and still growing to do. Whether he's looked more impressive, I think, than a lot of us expected, but he's still not to the level of elite NFL quarterback that you hope he will develop into.
Yeah.
You bring in McCarron as a veteran, but I think if it was close between McCarron...
It'll be interesting to see. Do we have any concerns about the supposed strength of this defense yesterday? I think John Boyes on Twitter said, I believe he said that John
Like I
Ross.
said earlier, they're not really putting in a game plan for these games, and if it's a regular season, I said earlier to someone, it's not going to be on John Ross.
I think in that situation, Vontae Davis is 100% on John Ross because Trey White's going to be on A.J. Green. I thought Trey White looked pretty good yesterday. Green got a couple catches, but I don't care who you are, unless you're having the best game of your life, like a guy like Jalen Ramsey or White or your top shutdown quarterbacks are occasionally going to be able to shut a guy like that out.
AJ Green 451 touchdown. The throw that Dalton made to Green
I don't
is
care who's
uncoverable.
covering it. That was in a
that is
letterbox.
as good a throw as an NFL quarterback can make.
Vontae
Period.
Davis is going to be in situations like that against maybe not. John Ross is a freak with how fast he is, but he's going to be covering guys of that caliber.
John
And he-
Ross 2 for 66, a touchdown, and essentially dropped the third touchdown that should have happened.
If anything, Poyer's the one who should be embarrassed because Davis got beat and then Poyer let John Bandicoot style and then scamper into the end zone.
Well, I think if in a game, I'm not implying Davis is not. Well, it's not going to be Vontae Davis, who's like 30 and playing on one leg.
The strength of the secondary, if you're in younger, that's going to be better than what you hope Vontae Davis is going to be. If Vontae
Davis is
Davis
on
ran a 4.2
Not
though.
a goddamn assumptions here, Jack.
He's on a 1-year, $5 million prove-it deal. I mean, if Dave is going to be better than, Gaines last year. You hope yes, but it's very possible that no, he may not be. So
He made a great hit yesterday.
Yeah.
Remember that was a phenomenal hit. It was textbook, hard. I think that was a great play.
But he got beat so bad on that touchdown that he tried to grab Ross and couldn't even grab him.
yeah, he was grabbing
tried
at
to haul
air.
him down and couldn't even do that.
I mean,
And now I realize he's a guy who missed all of last season with injury concerns and got cut by the Colts because of everything and is still probably getting himself back to full NFL game speed.
but still.
If the Ravens are going to beat you, it's going to be Crabtree and John Brown trying to blow by that guy a couple times if anyone watches the film of yesterday.
John Ross also isn't inhumanely fast.
He ran like a 4.21. That dude is a freak.
Ridiculous.
I'm actually feeling a little bit better about the linebacking core.
I thought Milano looked really good.
Milano had
yesterday.
7 tackles yesterday. He looked really good. Tremaine Edmonds had 7 tackles as well. So
picked two
he
at
looked
one
pretty
point.
good. And then a fairly good contribution by Tanner Viejo yesterday as well. He had 4 tackles. I don't know if he's kind of more of a depth guy, but still, like, I thought the middle of the defense was okay, but man, the line is not doing much against the run, and like we already talked about the secondary.
They looked all right in run defense. Their run defense looked all right.
They got figured out eventually, I guess. I don't know.
I'm less worried about the run defense than I am the pass defense right now.
Yeah, and
I'm
you know
worried
what? They
about the
did
lack
hold
of pass
Mixon.
rush.
They held Mixon to only 1.2 per carry, which is actually pretty strong. Gio Bernard really wasn't much of a factor either, and it was a lot of their stuff was after. I guess if the secondary that was so good, and we've talked about this before off air, if the secondary is not going to be able to turn teams over like they were able to last year, even if those interceptions drop by, 3 or 4 as a team, that's a lot of possessions that you're not stopping that teams have the potential to do damage on. That's just, I guess, my biggest concern is they're just not going to be able to repeat this like they were able to last year. It's just just turnover luck, turnover
you can never
prowess.
count on that.
I understand that Charles Tillman had a very specific way because he would just sledgehammer the ball out of your hand, like that was his goal. Otherwise, it is really hard to predict turnovers.
Yeah.
They're unpredictable by nature.
Like just think back to the play last year where the Bills get that fumble recovery on the Matt Ryan fumble.
Yes.
It's those kind of plays add up over a course of 16 games, and you turn out with a positive turnover differential. If the Bills played Nathan Peterman for 2 more games last season, it's probably a negative turnover differential at the rate that he was going.
Sure.
So you never know how things are going to play out over the course of 16 games, and you can't count on getting a bunch of freebies like that from your secondary. They're going to have to play good positional defense, and you hope that maybe they're getting hands on balls, but these are guys who aren't paid to catch the ball either.
It's not about how good Tremaine Edmonds played yesterday, though. He looked really good. He had that.
He looked a lot more comfortable out there quarterbacking the defense, which I think is strong.
That he almost had, and after that, he was like a whole different player.
Yep.
He was shooting gaps, he was stretching the play, setting the edge. I was like, there he is. He looked fast.
Yeah.
He looked confident.
Well, that's what they're hoping for, is that he's such a crazy good athlete. It's just harnessing that and learning how to lead a defense and how to read the opposing offense is what's going to take the longest time. Star middle linebackers don't develop
and
overnight.
he's 20.
Yeah, he's younger than most NFL
He
players.
turned
are.
20 in May. Like, he is a baby out there. He really is. And
Still growing into his freakishly large body too. Like,
right,
like
and
a 20-year-old.
if
they win the Super Bowl, he can't even have champagne to celebrate with him.
right, and that's not that big of an if. Yeah, he's a bright spot. Another bright spot. Let's switch back over to the offense. I am officially, and I can't believe I'm saying this, given who they are and what the expectations were. Logan Thomas is the second best tight end on this team. I don't understand why Nick O'Leary makes it out of camp.
I think with how Kroom looked yesterday, there's about a 0% chance that Nick O'Leary makes this team.
He's done, right? He's not really going to contribute as much on special teams anymore.
I mean, O'Leary might be the 5th best tight end on this team right now.
It's really incredible. This guy that was the best tight end at a Power 5, legendary school. He's got a great grandfather. You ever heard of this guy? It's Jack Nicklaus. He's a golfer.
He's got 2 first names.
Wait,
That's
who's
how you know
that?
He's good.
He's the Arnold Palmer of his day. But then Logan Thomas, this converted, who still to this day, and I'm just going to have to pull it up now. Logan Thomas has my favorite quarterbacking line of all time. Hold on while we get to this point. But he looks good. He caught all 4 targets. There seems to be some level of trust with him. And if Clay's going to play 13 games and he's going to be questionable game day for, 4 of them, and then he's going to miss 3 of them, and Logan Thomas is going to be perfectly fine, I think, now.
Yeah, Thomas, Kari Lee, and Kroom now behind Clay make O'Leary very expendable. Although being the best tight end at Florida State doesn't mean much in a time. Their best quarterback was E.J. Manuel.
Very weird that was the case when they were there together, right?
Yeah,
but
well,
yes, that is
Power
true.
football.
It is power football, aggressive football. So Logan Thomas, oh damn it, where is this? Of modern NFL history.
It's
So
better than
this,
Hasselbacks. We got the ball and we're going to score.
yeah, no, it is because this is a team that is completely overwhelmed. Oh, and that's a preseason game for the Broncos. Anyway, he's like 1 of 8 for 81 yards with a touchdown. That was his line that day. He threw 1 pass that happened to connect, and the rest of it was Broncos at their peak, just absolutely destroying this young kid. But I give him credit. He figured out that he was there's not too many quarterbacks that have converted to tight end in the NFL, but at 6'6", 250, he can do it. And yeah, he has followed through. And at this point, like I said, I don't know what to do with O'Leary. I just think you cut him at this point. I think he's a waste at this point. It sucks. I had high expectations for him, but I don't see what else you're going to do with him.
He was decent when he played, but like you said, there's 3 or 4 guys outplaying him right now.
Yep. Speaking of guys being outplayed, and this is why I get so frustrated with guys like Chris Ivory and Travaris Cadet are not as good as Marcus Murphy.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I thought Ivory, to his credit, played pretty well yesterday.
Ivory was okay yesterday. He did have a high average run, but I'm still more interested
Murphy
in
looked real good.
Murphy has a dimension. He's a pass catcher too, and God
Murphy's-
forbid that
Murphy's the
LaShawn
Chris
McCoy
Thompson
gets
kind of
hurt.
running back.
I think Marcus Murphy has a lot more of LaShawn McCoy's game in him at this point than Chris Ivory does.
Well, figure that a team with an offensive line as suspect as ours is going to have a kind of active screen game where a guy like McCoy is going to be involved trying to offset the D-line, make it so they have to watch and not be able to blitz every play. A guy like Murphy can come in and do that on third down. Ivory's going to be the power back.
He returned
But
to yesterday.
He's taken the job away from Cadet or Jones or whichever one of those.
About the punt battle, #punt battle that we've been going here. Colton Schmidt versus John Ryan. We barely.
100%.
This is John Ryan's job to lead. And again, Justin, very passionate about the punt game. Whoop, that's mine. You are very passionate about that punt game.
Yeah, we had quite the text conversation. Yes,
It's multiple levels here. Let me pull up. This is what Justin said. He said, "Hey, Bill," and I said, "Hey." He said, "Are you watching the game?" And I said, "Yeah." And then you
Gotta
just
get
went
the
silent for
introductions in.
3 hours, and then you said, "Did you see that John Ryan punt?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Just you did the goat emoji," and that was it. So I thought that was pretty cool of you. What did you see from John Ryan yesterday?
that's why Bill made that entire thing up.
Well, I'm going to post it on Twitter. I'll put it on the feed.
He did. He had.
Elastic
He had that one punt. It was so
I
good.
noticed him out there for the one punt, and it landed right in the 1-yard line, but took a big hop in the middle of the end zone.
Yeah, I know.
Nice try.
It's obviously John Ryan. Like, I don't know.
And you know,
I kind of feel bad for Colton Schmidt because they're just whenever you sign a guy like that to back up. By the way, the guy that Seattle drafted to replace John Ryan is like, other than Marquette King, he's like the most fun punter in the NFL, if there is such a thing that exists.
Yeah.
Like, if you can talk about, he's this rookie from Texas, and he is like, he's Australian. It's great. Check it out.
There was a stat I saw about Dixon this morning where
Yeah,
he had
Michael
2
Dixon,
punts
yeah.
inside the 5 yesterday, and there were more than 3.
Like,
He
he's
had 2 in
actually
the
a
game.
weapon, and it's incredibly Seahawks. It's
Every
because
game.
of Dixon as their punter. I digress.
Hauschka's ballsy on them.
He is. That was, we all love that, I think. I liked Ray McLeod. How about that? Do you like Ray McLeod?
I love number 3 in the receiver.
He's elusive, but he's a lot of fun.
He reminds me of. He kind of. This is going to sound kind of hot take. He kind of reminds me of LaShawn McCoy in the receiver form. The way he. This is the way
Okay.
he runs the ball. He doesn't just not like. He's just the way he runs the ball. That's all.
Yeah.
I was thinking he's going to be LaShawn McCoy or he's that good, but just the way he moves and he's very quick.
I was gonna say, he reminds me more of Roscoe Parrish.
5'9", 190. He's a little boy.
Small.
Tiny little guy.
So little. Great
Not
hair.
quite Tavon Austin, but
But I don't know. He
Taylor's
comes
like a two.
comes from a winning program. If that means anything
I
to
mean,
you.
doesn't.
I'm
All
still
right.
really curious to see how these receivers are going to fall out, how it's going to lay out. There's
They're going to
still so
draw
many
them out
wild
of a,
cards.
draw
in
them
there,
out of
man.
a hat every game to play number 2.
Right now they got Zay Jones as like a 6 guy on depth chart.
Owns at 2, and then who cares at 3 through 18 because they're all very apt.
Benjamin Jones.
Curly.
And then they got Holmes, and they actually have Holmes and Streeter here on ESPN.
You have it on.
Don't know
You're on
about that.
ESPN. Bill's site has it as Benjamin Holmes, then Streeter, and Curley, and then Coleman and Jones.
Well, whatever way you slice it,
It's not good 2 through infinity.
they also have AJ McCarron as the number 1 here
May
too.
not
So
be up
maybe
to
I
date.
should probably look at a different website. But
just a little bit.
yeah, I mean it. I don't know, man. It just
It's gonna be a weird year.
yeah, it is.
I don't know what to think of, but we felt the same way last year that we didn't think about it, and they ended up making the playoffs.
I feel like that last year we were straight up hating the concept of watching the Bills season.
It's
Like,
true.
We were actively sitting in that 17 weeks of the season. So you never know. Football is a sport that there's always a couple teams that do way better than you expect. I don't think the Bills are going to be that team this year. But it's not out of the realm of possibility for this team to come together the way they did last year.
It's either going to be expected or pleasantly surprised. We were talking about this at lunch today, where the bar is so low this season that it's going to be hard to get
It's going to be hard for me to be disappointed.
Yeah,
I just like you gotta start. It's still just the preseason, and they're still just doing basic bullshit.
but
And
they're not
there's-
winning one-on-one battles. They're
Yeah,
not showing
well,
much in the way
correct.
of
But, you
competing.
know, it's gonna
and
be-
that's the thing that shows.
Offense look pitiful, but it's gonna be different when you got Dawkins in there. It's gonna be different when you got LaShawn McCoy in there. They're gonna put 8 in the box, open the passing game. It's gonna be, and they're gonna.
Is the scheme against Myles Garrett just put 4 guys?
Well, I know
over there?
that game was. It's still the preseason.
It's the preseason pledge. You have to not get caught.
Think
Preseason is very much a
They were
tinted
the-
way of looking at the talent of a team.
And Kelvin Benjamin, Rod Streeter, Corey Coleman,
just been through this.
Malachi Dupree. Side, Andre Holmes, Jeremy Curley, Zay Jones, Brandon Riley. Nick O'Leary still listed as the second tight end on this. So this isn't even up to date.
It might be up to
Jason
date.
Kroom's fourth.
I bet you
Makes
that
sense.
that McDermott loves that O'Leary doesn't wear gloves.
Yeah, just constantly
It's
willing.
a sonnet about the
McDermott would have been a huge Jeremy Shockey guy.
would have been
Oh,
a
yeah.
huge Jeremy Shockey guy.
fan of
That's a great name I haven't heard in a while.
Let's share this dirt, Jeremy.
Jason Sehorn's favorite player.
They still have McCarron and Peterman's 1A, 1B.
No, I know,
so
I
it's-
know, I know.
They're definitely not updating this
Yeah.
in the preseason.
They're in the business of deception.
So I'm curious then, which receivers, because you mentioned it, which receivers do you think make the active roster? We're assuming that Benjamin's a shoe-in and that Jones is a shoe-in.
3 or
I
4.
would say probably 4.
Holmes, Curley,
Holmes, Curley, McLeod. I think McLeod is one, and then I think
Coleman.
it's got to be Coleman. So I mean, I think that's your six.
So Streeter is gone. Prohl's on the practice squad. Riley's back on the practice squad.
I think McLeod was practice squad. I think
Malachi
Prohl's
Dupree's
totally
on the
cut.
practice squad.
Streeter or Curley, I think, will be cut. One of those two. They're just expendable at this
I hope
point.
if they give one of those guys a shot, I hope it's Curley. For no other reason than he's younger and has shown flashes of it. I think we as a football community have never seen anything significant from Rod Streeter other than he was drafted by Al Davis for being fast.
And Curly wears a cool visor.
He does wear a cool
So,
visor.
I'll give him that.
He's got a sweet name.
Well, you got to remember where Curly spent the last how many years?
San Francisco? I
Oh,
think
wait.
like one of
No,
them.
I thought he was in New York.
He's been all over the
yeah,
map.
he's bounced around a little bit.
He is what we call a journeyman.
did for a while.
He has played for the Jets, the Lions, the 49ers, the Jets again. And he's been active
there.
11 to 15 and 17 Jets. So, and then 2016 was with the Niners. So, and the Lions just signed him and traded him for no, just sure,
Also,
why
fun
not?
fact about Jeremy Curley: all 3 of his children's names have apostrophes in them, which is another reason to keep him on the active roster.
Not enough kids with apostrophes in their name these days. I think again, Justin and I. Let me pull up our conversation about that here real quick.
This is a good game.
This is a good one here. This was on Saturday night. And Justin, hey, what's up?
Need the introductions. In this.
Justin, have you been on Jeremy Curley's Wikipedia page under personal life? And I said, no. He said, there's a lot of apostrophes for the kids. And I said, okay, what does that have to do with anything? And he said, he never responded after that. The next text is about John Ryan, so that's fine.
He's very grammatically correct.
It was.
I like that.
No, you nailed it. And I appreciate that about you. You're always saying, guys, in the Slack, you're always like, grammar.
Listen for our upcoming segment. Bill reads every text Justin sent him throughout the course of
We
the
have a lot of
previous
text message conversations. I don't know. I'm trying to pull positives out of this, and right now it's just making up text conversations.
I'm
So
really
I
not
really
that
don't
worried
know.
about the game. I was
Linebacking
You
was great.
that is not true.
yesterday during the game. I was freaking out about it. I was
You
like,
were
wow.
worried about the game.
Yesterday
were
during the game, I was worried about the game, and then I really sat down and thought about it objectively,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just not that worried about it. I'm just wait till
You
week
just
one.
found your center, and you're like, all right.
I do this a lot now. Like I was freaking out about the Ryan O'Reilly trade. Remember?
Yep.
I was freaking about a couple other things
Wedding?
this off season.
No.
And
Sports related. Sorry.
Remember the Ryan O'Reilly comments the offseason last year? And I was going nuts about that. I totally 180'd.
Yep.
I've been doing that a lot lately. It's just a new thing I do. I get angry, I overreact, and then I calm down and think about
bring
it,
it back.
and I get smart.
He
Bring
hasn't
that
had-
one going.
Shit,
No.
it was never a Fortnite game for me.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
back to school.
Oh.
Yes. Well, for me, I'm going to.
They're on their T1 lines.
Once NHL comes out,
Into the new Madden. Even though it sucks
I actually just purchased a new capture card
righteously.
so I can,
The tournaments after podcasts.
Yeah.
or just hanging out for more than 5 minutes after the podcast.
Go OG, yeah. Well, if
Working.
she put a lot of work into these fake pedals.
Not his wife yet. It's like another 27 days and then.
Acknowledge, I'm really excited for the pedals.
So we wanted to go cheap. Just quick
Go
backtrack
ahead.
as possible now. So
It's relatable.
we got fake rose pedals because they're much cheaper than real rose pedals.
Yeah, who the fuck?
Head already.
Yeah. And these are
So that's
reusable.
kind of a bummer.
And we got blue ones, and because blue is cooler.
Sure.
Picking together.
Mm.
So Leslie's down there picking apart thousands of rose and crimping them to make them look nicer. I was like,
More rose-ish.
yes.
Yeah. So can you tell me that again?
September 27th.
Thank you. So I'll have the Twitter feed. We'll do a live.
Definitely live tweet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, buddy, you have no idea. I think I've already got Nick lined up for trivia.
We should do that at the wedding.
I think it would be wonderful.
Good idea.
Before we
Should have done
begin.
it at your bachelor party. That would have been a help.
I don't get me thinking. God damn it, Bill.
Yeah, I know. I'm an ideas guy.
Oh,
What do you want me to tell you?
Hope it isn't free, though.
All right.
It's like get Nick to come out and do a best man speech for you, but it's just trivia about you. The audience has to guess the answers.
That would be great.
Which of these articles of clothing was Justin not wearing the last time I saw him?
Answer it.
Underwear.
Socks. All right. We got to do the schedule now.
Are we doing that?
Gonna
We
pick the
doing
Bills?
I think we got to do the schedule. We might as well.
this? I'm pulling it up.
I got it right here. I'm writing it down right now.
In this new 3-screen setup, since the last time we Facebook Lived you all into this podcast, Justin has added 2 additional screens to this room.
And a computer. And a second computer.
And a second computer.
I have everybody's name written down, and we're going to see who is the best and who is the worst.
Are we going to keep track of this?
Yeah, I'm going to keep track of it. You ready?
Yeah.
Can we begin?
Sure.
Sunday, September 9th, 1 p.m. at Baltimore Ravens, just 10.
Are we going to assume a starter, or are we just going to...
Let's assume that it has been decided that I think this is more interesting, and I think it's more realistic that Josh Allen starts from week 1 on.
Okay.
Because I sincerely believe that he's still going to be the starter. I think they're going to chalk this last game up to, well, it's how the cookie crumbles, and they're going to go with him. My team, Jeremy Curley made the team. Rob Streeter did not.
I think you
On
first
the
two
road.
teams on the road into teams opening day.
To manufacturers and trust bank state, putting you down for a loss then?
67-4.
Is that what that means?
Yeah, no, we're going to lose, yeah.
Okay. I don't need
Not
score.
bad.
Ravens defense against the Bills what the Bills offensive line showed, no heart, no battle. So I don't think they protect Allen. So I'm going to take the loss.
It was a little ugly when Tyrod debuted.
There's
Go
no
ahead.
tape on Josh Allen. There's no tape on how the Bills and Brian Dable plan on using Josh Allen. Ravens defensive line is nothing to write home about. Bills win at Baltimore week 1.
Wow, look at you, kid.
I bet the Bills don't even announce who's starting until like 3 days before the game.
I don't think they will.
It'll be after the 4th game easily.
Fan travel packages, of course, are brought to you by Rachel's Mediterranean. Week 2, Los Angeles Chargers. This game presented by ECMC and Kaleida Health, a collaborative effort, since we all know that ECMC not a part of the Kaleida Health experience currently. But that's great that health is something that we can all get behind. We can all unite behind it. Anyway, the Chargers are coming to town. Let's start with Mike. How do you think the Chargers do, Mike?
Well, I think the game this year is going to look a lot like the game last year. Maybe not as many turnovers, but I don't think it's
Please
going
not
to be pretty.
last year's game.
I don't think it's going to be pretty. I
Okay.
don't think that they're going to have an answer on offense to stop Bosa. I don't think that Allen's going to have any time. I don't think the defense is going to get off the field after a while, so I'm picking the Chargers to win.
Hefe.
Yeah, it's a good thing that ECMC is sponsoring this game, so when Josh Allen gets his inevitable Corey Legit and Joey Bosa concussion, they can cart him off the field and have a nice sponsorship rollout.
Sure.
Chargers.
This concussion break brought to you by ECMC.
Smoked last year against his team and losing their 3 best linemen in the offseason.
Uh-huh.
They're probably going to lose again.
All right. The best way to rebound from a rough start, and that is to go on the road back-to-back against travel packages are available. Rachel's Mediterranean, hit them up. I don't know where they're located, but I'm sure it's my favorite.
I'm with you. I'm
Falafels?
really just a big feta cheese guy. Feta cheese and some
Feta
chicken.
cheese is so good.
Hit up some
Give up
falafels,
those
dude.
some culture in you. Sunday, September 23rd at the Minnesota Vikings, 1 p.m., U.S. Bank Stadium. All the sunlight coming through the windows. Jeff?
I was recently in Minneapolis for a couple days, and that drove by the stadium.
Great city.
It was an
Great
impressive,
city.
Well, unfortunately, only really got to drive through it and see some of the sites, and really get to spend too much time in the
All
city.
right.
But
And this was when you were on your way
new
to
stadium,
Fargo.
That big boat like structure
Yes.
is just imposing.
It is.
And the team and the defense inside it, a team that just signed George Iloka for some laughs to be a backup safety.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare
Now,
for a rookie quarterback.
Hypothetical. 2033. Viking is considered a racist term. Do they change the shape of the stadium when the team becomes the Minnesota North? Fair enough.
Consider it
Okay,
like a-
so
like a
now
canoe.
it's a
No,
yacht.
It becomes a canoe.
It's a yacht. It's a canoe? Okay, fair enough. I'd be lost. Just 10.
Minnesota.
Okay, fair enough.
month.
In the frozen tundra of
You can't pass up in green, which is apparently an important thing that every team needs to draft for.
Don
He's got big
Majewski.
What's important when
Looks
you're
great in
Buffalo?
shorts.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. All right, so the Packers.
Star.
Once again, fan travel packages available, presented by Rachel's Mediterranean.
They have 5 locations in
They-
the area.
5 Good
That's
Lord.
how they can afford to sponsor these travel packages.
Holy cow, Rachel, doing work. Green Bay. Justin. Aaron
Rodgers
Rodgers
is
will.
gonna win this
Let's going to
game.
assume that Aaron Rodgers and not Brett Hundley is the quarterback for this game.
I'll take that assumption.
Fair enough. Mike.
Green Bay.
All right. Jeff.
Green Bay. That's a tough road game.
Okay.
So do we all have them at either 0-4 or 1-3?
Yes, Jeff has them at 1-3. Justin, Mike, and myself have them at 0-4. Week 5, Marcus Mariota. Exotic Smash Mouth is dead. This game is again
Is it
one.
still exotic Smash Mouth?
It
now
is
with the
not
coaching
exotic
change?
Smash Mouth anymore. Arguably the second best wide receiver for Tennessee was being covered by Mike Vrabel in practice.
Mike Vrabel's got great hands.
I know, but he's also retired.
Yeah. Matthews was also hurt and only cleared.
Fair
for
enough.
contact
I like where your
yesterday.
head's at. Great point. Once again, a collaborative effort from ECMC and Kaleida Health bring to you the Tennessee Titans. This game guaranteed already 7th on the depth chart of CBS, even if they have 5 games that week. The wild cards of the AFC clash. Mike, who you got? Titans, Bills.
I'm still feeling no confidence in the Bills.
Uh-oh.
0-5.
0-5.
And waiting for this is gonna be the game that CBS sends to Fox so that Kurt Menefee and Rondé Barber can call it.
Kurt Menefee's like, I gotta get out of the studio for 1 week. Cool, dude. You're going to Orchard Park. Enjoy. They sent Tony Gonzalez and Kurt Menefee here last night. They just CBS fired him because they
Well-spoken.
wanted to revamp everything.
Yeah.
So
Which I
well
understand.
spoken.
But out of all the guys, sense to have.
Should have fired Phil Simms.
Should have. Well, Phil Simms got a job for life. Somehow he's got pictures of. I lost it halfway through. Give me the Titans.
I'm
Justin.
going to go with the Titans.
Titans. Okay. So
The big Hawaiian boy.
0-5, 0-5, 0-5, 1-4.
I have-
Bills have not yet exploded. We're going to the NERG
Who's
for
scheduled
week
the
6.
schedule?
I told you
Jesus.
first 8 weeks. NERG, Rachel's Mediterranean. Get your olives. Jeff. Texans.
Give me the Bills against Houston. They're not. I don't bottom of the barrel scraping by losing 5 in a row. Bad. I think they sneak one against Houston.
Well, they've already. Okay, so you have them not lose. We all have them losing 5 in a row. Justin.
Come back to me.
Okay. Mike.
Yeah,
Don't-
come back to me real
Okay,
quick.
well,
Okay.
now
Well, that
it's
doesn't
just.
work.
All right, fine. Alden, inexplicably. Because
this will be the
I
game
think
that
the
Allen throws for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns.
But I'm just going to put the Bills down for winning this game. I don't have anything. What do you want me to say? I got nothing. They
J.J.
should have beat the Titans.
J.J. Watt is already out for the season, like he is every season.
Right.
And there's no pass rush.
Justin.
I'm going to go with the Texans.
Okay.
I'm going
Mike.
to go with the Bills.
All right. There we go.
And that's kind of a trap game. So
Okay.
it's between Dallas and Jacksonville, kind of thing.
Dallas turned the ball over 8 times against Arizona. We'll say.
Texas Cup. As an Indians fan, I think, Jeff, you agree how good it felt to get that Ohio Cup.
It did.
Week 7, another road game. 5 out of 7, man. That is rough. Colts.
A lot of great home games to go to for the Bills fans who want to watch football in the fucking sun.
mayonnaise on white. That, of course, is the Indiana sandwich specialty. I believe they also like to flatten out a pork chop and deep fry it. I think that's one of their things there.
Okay, that doesn't sound bad.
Yeah. Once again, this game is presented by Rachel's. Rachel's, your fan travel package needs all met. Rachel personally drives the bus out there, too, which is pretty cool. These are all bus trips, we should note. So, sorry if you went to the Houston game and then can't afford to go to the Indianapolis game, but that's
other
life,
than
man.
Can you imagine, as a complete sidebar, assume that you are an enterprising Bills fan who
Yeah.
came into some money
Sure.
and wanted to travel to Houston because I think Texas is a good place to visit.
So big.
Right.
Panhandle.
You go by yourself and sit on a bus for God knows how long. That's
2 days.
That's a heck of a drive.
2 days, I
You
would
take a
imagine.
bus to Houston with a bunch
Yeah.
of random other Bills fans.
Yeah.
That sounds like
And then you turn around
A
and then
football
drive to
hell.
Indianapolis
just can go right
with
on up
more
to
random
Indiana,
Bills. Yeah.
God's greatest state.
Yep. Andrew Luck is playing in this game. I'm going to give the Bills a win here. I'm going to lead off. And I'm not sure if Andrew Luck is quite the miracle worker that Peyton Manning was in his heyday. With Mike.
I'm going to go with the Bills.
Strong.
And about the Bills, because they've decided to string together a couple wins and they're getting close to 500. Give me the Bills here. And people will
God
be on Facebook
bless
like, they
you.
got 6 home games left.
Buffalo
There's a lot of
Bills
faith left in this
fanatics.
team. They just-
Jordan Poyer right
if you
now.
don't love this, you don't love Bills football.
Did you? Justin, go ahead.
I want to get the Bills their first dub here.
Atta boy. Look at this guy over here. For no reason.
Justin has gone, for the record, from being optimistic after yesterday's game to starting the Bills off 0-6 very
That's
quickly.
a tough schedule, man. Remember last time we did this? I think it was
We all played all the 3-13, 4-12, and then went 9-7.
every time I picked Bills to win, Nick laughed at me, and then at the end of it, we had
Well,
the
'cause
same record.
I think, but wasn't it because you were much more optimistic, and we've beaten you down?
Brought you down to our level.
Yeah.
Bunch of fatalistic jerks.
Well, here we go. Is this copyright protected? Probably
I'm
not,
sure
right?
it is.
Fair share.
If you
I'm just
talk
gonna keep
over it,
playing.
no
Yeah,
one can hear it.
you can barely hear it here. Week 8, and it just so happens that the AFC East rivalry that everybody loves, the last time they played in prime time at New Era Field, Patriots 56, Bills 10. No big deal. Week 8, Monday night, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. I did not know that this went this long.
It's a long season.
This is a long song. All my rowdy friends will be there on Monday night against the New England Patriots. This is sponsored by Blue Rock Energy, and you better believe that meter is going to be bursting at the seams.
They've prepared a different video just for how loud that crowd is.
At least 104 decibels. Is that a world record? Let's call Guinness again and see if we can set it for the 2-4 Bills, 2-5 Bills against
Against the 6-1 Patriots.
6-1 Patriots.
Cordell
Angry
Patterson
coming
with
off a
1,000
loss and a
receiving
bye.
yards.
Somehow
Oh,
both.
bye. Jesus.
They lost the bye week. I don't know if they actually have a bye or not.
That was the most production value this show has seen in about
I
a year
hope
and a
you
half.
appreciate that. Fan travel packages are available, of course, presented by Blue Rock Energy. Justin,
Where are they traveling?
Home that week.
most of them live downtown.
Traveling down to Orchard Park.
Rachel's driving the bus.
Now I'm going to say the Bills are feeling very confident after beating the Colts last week, coming in the home Monday night game, and the Bills are going to lose.
Stole my joke.
So this is definitely not copyright infringement. Now, go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, it's.
I'm
the
just putting this
Patriots
on
in
the
prime
microphone
time
now.
Off a bye. God,
I don't know if they have a bye or not. Are they?
I thought you just said that.
I'm sorry.
They just always
Hashtag
said,
fake
we just
news.
assume it now. They always have a buy off for a Bills
I
game.
said that they're coming off a bye and a loss, so they're super motivated.
Okay. I don't care if they're on a bye or not. Give me the Patriots.
Okay. Mike?
Patriots in prime time? Yeah, I'm taking the Patriots.
Fair enough. I, too, will take
I don't think they lose in prime time.
the Patriots. Kansas City, first week of last year.
Okay, so that's one out of what? Maybe
They've
one out
never
of
lo-
20?
Nope, and they've never lost since then. Week 9. A rematch of this game coming up on Thursday, but this time it's in our house, and it's sponsored by no one. So if you're looking to do a fans travel package sponsorship, it is
You're
wide
up Schitt's
open.
Creek.
Come on down to New Era Field. There's no way to get there. Chicago Bears. I guess the sidebar here is Ellicott Hotel, so we'll say Ellicott Hotels. unwelcomes the Chicago Bears to the frozen tundra, even though that's Green Bay.
Give me the
New
Bills
Era
here.
Field.
I'll take the Bills here.
This feels like a win, right?
I'll take the Bills.
I'll
All
take
right.
the Bills.
Look at that.
We've
All
got
of
our
a sudden,
first social.
4 and 5. Yeah, social King Cup.
That's all drink.
So right now, through week 9, Justin 2-7, Mike 3-6, Jeff 4-5, Bill 3-6. That's adorable that you have them at 4 and 5.
But he's going for like the storybook Bill season. He really's got to
The storybook Bill season
this point,
is them
that's
being
best
under
case
500.
Overperforming in spite of like the offense. Like at this point of the season, we'll be coming in here after the Week 9 game. Offense has been a tire fire, barely moving the ball. The defense getting walked all over. Yet somehow this team is 4-5. And guys, if they just turned it around a little bit, this could be a playoff team. They're only one game out of the second wild card before they do the classic Bills thing, and that is completely fuck up the second half of the season.
Well, we've already entered the second half of the season, and that means, once again, the Bills are hitting the road, and that means you're getting that delicious Rachel's Mediterranean souvlaki at the New York Jets. 11-11. Game is not being played at 11 a.m. for the numerologists out there. Sorry about that. But it is at MetLife Stadium.
The
Tenor,
Bills, their first win streak of the season.
look out. Justin likes him. Mike, at the New York Jets.
Wouldn't it be even better? I'm sorry, Mike. Wouldn't it be even better if it's Josh Allen versus Darnold there? That'd be fun.
Give me
Don't see why it wouldn't be at
Nathan
this
Peterman
point.
against Josh McCown. Thank you very much. That's what it's going to be.
Prime time, baby.
Teddy Bridgewater and A.J. McCarron.
They have flexed this game for no reason to 4 o'clock. Because somebody else.
That will be adjusted in a couple weeks.
That's right. Mike, who you got? Bills at Jets, week 10.
I'm not having much faith in the Bills this season. I think they're going to split with each team winning their home game, so I'm going to take the Jets.
Fair enough.
I bet you that game's only at 4 because the Giants are probably on the road at 1.
Jeff, 5-5.
Team that on paper isn't that great. It's like that It's like that Thursday night game a couple years ago where we
Yep.
get all your hopes up, and the Jets for some reason, especially in New York, seem to have this team's number.
Week 11. Unsponsored. It's the bye week. Week 12.
They'll find a way to lose that.
New Era Field. Jalen Ramsey, Mr. GQ, comes to town, presented by Independent Health. They have an apple in their logo. Apples don't really have that much nutrition in them, do they? Is it
No.
vitamin A?
They have a lot of quality micronutrients.
But they're not like a blueberry superfood.
No, but we're talking pure vitamin. Yeah, but they got a lot of important micronutrients that are.
But what is a micronutrient?
You gotta.
It's like a nutrient, but
Listen to some more
smaller.
podcasts.
Don't bring this Herbalife bullshit.
You gotta
into
turn off
my
the
life.
soccer podcasts and listen to some.
The full A. I governor. Thank you. That was my British impression. Jacksonville Jaguars, Independent Health. Mike.
I think they lose the rematch of their first playoff
So the
game in
playoff.
17
This
years.
was a playoff game. Jim Nance, Tony Romo, live from New Era Field. Golf clap. Go ahead,
Give me Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. This is over Thanksgiving weekend too. I should note. 11:25.
Even better, I'll have an excuse to not watch all 4 quarters of it.
Justin, are you eating Jaguar on your Thanksgiving table?
God, I hope so.
Bills are gonna win.
Oh, look at you. 4-7. Now, who's quarterbacking the
Josh
Jaguars?
Allen's going deep right at Jalen Ramsey for his
Brandon
win.
Allen.
Josh Allen, Blake
Versus Brandon
Bortles,
Versus Josh Allen.
Spider-Man memes pointing at each other. They kind of have a similar game. So strong. So handsome and so strong. I don't think they're going to win this game either. Week 13. Hey, you play a Florida team in New York, and then you play a Florida team in Florida. Get out of here with that. Miami Dolphins.
This is the one at Miami.
Hard Rock
Yes.
Stadium. That's in Miami Gardens, not technically Miami. Everybody didn't really like Miami. This game, of course, is brought to you by Rachel's Mediterranean Fan Travel Packages. I'm going to click on the fan. Pre-game... oh, no. Hold on. Why would you get pre... Oh, this is... Okay. So for the Green Bay... Let's sidetrack here real quick. Have you ever had a dream of staying at the court?
Can't
Rachel
say that I
has
have.
the
I'm not a very
package here for
vivid
you.
dreamer.
Rachel has the package here for you. You get an official... That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
An official NFL souvenir that is not named here. So my guess is that.
Wow.
I bet you there's
What
some
is
of those
New
cowboy
Era's
hats left in the
shittiest hat
preseason
level? Is
thing.
that like a 948 adjustable or whatever?
Those flimsy ones with
Yeah,
the crappy
exactly.
like cloth
Absolutely.
back, and it's, like,
It's actually just all white with a standing buffalo on it.
it's the Wild West. Leftover Wild West hats in training camp.
Who would want to go on the field for a post game field pass?
You want to if your team wins.
So, all right, dear listeners, I apologize. Rachel had implied that she was going to be personally driving you to all these games. They don't have any like anything past Minnesota and Green Bay. There's no travel packages available. That seems like
You're on your own, fan.
Why wouldn't a Bills fan in the beginning of December not want to travel to Miami?
Because they've already.
Good answer.
Anyway,
Good answer.
Anyway, this is at Miami. Give
This
me
is
the
at
Dolphins.
Miami.
Give me the Fins.
Dolphins.
All right. Tenor,
I got the Bills at 4-7 right now.
you do.
They got 5 games left,
Mhm.
and they got 4 or 5 games are very winnable. This is where the fans love this shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
They can win all these games, but we got the Patriots.
Not to interrupt you, I have them losing this game. Keep going, though.
I got the Bills.
All right.
They're used to the Florida Heat.
Folks, the optimism has come. Justin the first to cross that magical 5 tally mark on the win side. Week 14, a rematch of Week 10. I really wish they would space out these division games. It's kind of
They are really crammed in the second half
God,
of the
they're
season.
really jammed in there. Week 14, New York Jets. This game, of course, presented to you by Units, that is Upstate New York Transplant Services. Donate blood. It's good for everybody. I would click on the fan travel package here, but I know it's all a lie, just like my life. Jeff, cheer me up.
Yep. Death, taxes, Rousey by armbar, Bills and Jets split their series. Give me Buffalo.
Yes, Michael.
Buffalo.
Tanner,
Buffalo.
you've somehow gotten them to 6 and 7.
And they're on like a 6-game win streak.
Good
I
for
think.
you. That's incredible. Week 15, as we again just continue this ridiculous odyssey of home games in December because snow. Detroit Lions. The Ralph series is back. The mandatory once every 8 years visit.
I'm excited to watch this game on the condition that neither Stafford or Allen is legally allowed to throw the ball less than 30 yards.
No, just everybody chucks.
Be
This is a
amazing to
chuggers
watch.
game. This
both,
game-
both of them could do it for 4 quarters.
This game is unsponsored, so let's just make up a cool sponsorship. This game is brought to you by
Lockhouse
Sears
Distillery.
Steakhouse. Okay, Lockhouse. Coffee, liqueur.
Still our boys.
Yep. Despite we haven't been there in like 2.5 years.
Yeah,
but
we'll have to go
Still
there
my
again.
boy.
that is the best fight. You remember our friend Joe Stoyak?
Mm-hmm.
I think that was where he made that really dumb draft pick and said Tyrod sucks. I think that was. I'm gonna note that down.
It was
here.
also the
It's his
same
first-
room that he selected to protect Tommy Cross for the Bruins.
Tommy, that was the
God
name I
bless.
was looking for. The goat, the crosser.
Tommy Cross is still kicking around pro hockey, by the way.
yeah, and the like.
This
the
has been your Boston Bruins
ECHL,
segment of the
right?
show.
He was just released from his Bruins thing. Justin, go ahead.
Oh, where are we now? We're at the Lions.
Lions at home.
Now explain.
They've been on fire
Oh.
since the Bears game. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
or 5
finish,
game. Yeah.
Still like the Bills.
All right. Jeff?
Unrelated to all of this, I'm reading a Pro Football Talk article about how Hugh Jackson's and give me
Good, good,
Detroit.
good, good.
I love Hard Knocks. It's exposing the Browns. I love it.
Not much leadership.
There's
in
not
that
much more to
office, is there?
expose. We all knew they were terrible.
Patriots at. Just gonna not ask anybody here real quick.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And week 17, Dolphins. This game may be flexed to Monday or Sunday evening.
So
we don't know
Dolphins
for
and-
sure.
I have the Bills now at 5 and 10.
Correct.
And of course, at this point of
Way
the
to
season, we're
ruin
3 games out of the wild
reveal.
card.
Okay.
And
Can you make them all up in one?
no. So
Okay.
the fans are like, okay, well, let's who cares? Let's lose this game and go to 5 and 11, improve our draft stock. The Bills, of course, win this game by 35 going away.
It's not how Sean McDermott operates, son. Mike?
Yeah, I think for some reason, for some inexplicable reason, the Bills will win this game.
Sure. Probably. Justin?
It's December 30th.
To the north.
The Bills will absolutely not be cold,
No.
but the Dolphins will be freezing.
And Josh
Why
for
Allen.
not?
their
man.
snow.
Yep.
Go with the Bills.
All right. You're incredible. 6 and 10. Justin, you have the Bills at 8 and 8 somehow. That is awesome. So 6 and 10, 6 and 10, 6 and 10, 8 and 8. Very realistic expectations for this team. This year is going to be tough, I think, is what we're trying to get at here, right?
You're all 6-10, and I'm 8-8.
Yep.
You're giving me crap for 2 more wins?
Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
Would you like me to remind you where you put them? You have them beating Jacksonville.
Yeah, they probably will.
Okay. Fair enough. It just doesn't seem realistic.
It doesn't. But
It doesn't. But that's why you're a fan.
I'm gonna own it.
That's short for fanatic. It's a little English language there. I don't know. I don't know how to sell this season. What's the selling point for this season? That next season comes.
We have a
going to
shiny
sell
draft
draft
Selling point of the
picks and
season
get
is
better.
a 5-minute video of Tremaine Edmonds and Josh Allen looking like all-world talents. And then you go into next offseason hoping that they build that to a full season.
Well, did you hear about how much cap room they're going to supposed to have next season?
Gonna have a lot of
an
cap
actual
room.
crap ton. The problem with that, and if I can riff on this for a moment, the problem is not just having the money. The problem is convincing players who can choose probably 10 to 15
Right.
NFL teams
You can have the money, but
to
can you
come
convince them
here
to come?
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have historically had a big problem convincing players not named Mario Williams to come to Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And if this team comes out, is 5-11, 6-10, if Allen doesn't come out and throw the ball a bunch, you know where all those big name receivers are going to go? Anywhere that they have an established quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't mean absolutely anything if you don't prove that you are able to coach those players to their potential. They want to be the best in the world and go and get another big contract. They don't want to come here and be misused.
That's nice, but I think it's gonna help most on the money. They don't have any more money to pay anybody right now. But I had a whole different take. I told you I suck.
No, that's fine.
What I was trying to say, I don't think the team is that bad off everywhere else. My main is O-line, and I don't think that's a big issue to convince players to come here. Really,
you got to have not only the players but the scheme, right? I'm not ready to say that Brian Dable's schemes, because I don't know what they are yet. They've been very generic. We don't know what they are. If he's Alabama Brian Dable, then maybe he's got something in there that can be electric. If it's just going to be another boring kind of offense, then we're in trouble. This concern going into this season is really what it comes down to for me. Going to kind of figure itself out, but you have to have the correct schemes, have innovative, not just the same boring package stuff.
And the offense has to
And
be
they
able to
do
do
it, then
enough
great.
to keep the defense off the field, or this turns into New Orleans a lot of those early games.
Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see. It's tough, man. It just, you have such a bad taste in your mouth after watching yesterday. But like you said, you've said it over and over again. It's just the preseason, man. You gotta give it up, right? So we'll see.
They're back at it on Thursday.
Thursday at the Bears. Not really going to be much.
I mean, teams have
see
already
there,
started
I
resting
think.
their starters for the third game. Fourth game is going to be who off the street is willing to come in and play 4 quarters in a Bills uniform. And then you'll cut 20-some-odd guys, and you'll go down to M&T Bank Stadium.
Yep.
when's Final Cut Day? You guys know?
It's over the weekend? I think it's like Saturday?
Yeah. By Labor Day, we will have it.
This is probably the best game to go watch, though. If you're sitting down on the sideline, that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
Because that's a bunch of guys trying with the team. There's some intensity on that sideline for those guys. And I sat down there last year, and it's pretty fun just to listen in and see those guys going nuts for their job.
It feels weird not playing Detroit in the preseason this year.
It does.
Just realized we've gone through an entire preseason now. Spinning in his
I miss
grave.
the Ralph days. Where it was just, and it was always weekly, and it was just a beautiful thing.
One thing I don't miss.
What are
is
we
the
with
running.
That's a long conversation for another day.
It's not a good place to watch football games. It's great for tailgating. But on the field's not
Well,
great.
okay,
Well,
take that out of
yeah.
it.
But,
Okay, let's.
Like
just-
the actual stadium.
It just the way it's laid out. I think I've been through it like 4 or 5 times on the show. Like I don't like the seat layout. Like you just kind of go back and back and back and back.
Yeah,
and
you're
back.
you're far from the field as you get
Like
up.
you could
It's
be
the opposite of how they build the arena.
You could be in the hundreds, the lower bowl. I mean, and sit in row 32, but feel like you're in the last row of the stadium because it's
Yeah.
so far away. But if you sit in the very last row at Bengal Stadium, you're on top of the field. That is an incredible.
Right.
seat.
It is a low pitch, like it's very gradual build
Yeah.
up.
That's why I don't like it. I just like the. I don't know. I hate the way I just like, especially if you sit in the end zones. It's a terrible spot to watch a game there. I don't know if I
And
did.
the concourses get all kind of weird too. Just kind of just going through there. It's not just around the stadium. At least that's what it was like the last time I was there. You had to go up and
They renovated it, putting some of the kiosks outside by the bathrooms in the stadium. But
I don't mind the stadium itself. I just like the way the seats are.
The
It's
setup,
like
yeah.
it's especially I hate between the seats and the in the rink.
yeah,
And you already go so far back. You're in row one. You're already so far back. Like I would never go watch hockey there. I didn't go to the first one. I didn't go.
well,
to
I
the,
think that's why they've put so many of these games now in baseball stadiums. Was
Yeah.
because at least, obviously the outfield's way out there, but you can put so many more people when you set up the rink
Mhm.
down the baselines, or basically run the rink from first to third
Yeah.
base. I don't know. They'll probably. I don't know. We still don't know anything, and it doesn't feel like the Pagulas are motivated at this point.
I think they're definitely working on it. With the
Maybe
Pagulas, where there's no
Under
smoke,
the-
there's fire.
Right.
It's pretty good to keep. They're pretty good to keep yourself
I
quiet.
think the NFL's going to light a fire under the
Well,
Pagula's ass.
That's
to,
a good point
to keep
too.
the
That
team
eventually
here.
they're just going to have to do it. So we will
I
see.
mean, the stadium is getting near 50 years old.
Yeah, was this 44th year?
44, 45?
Yep. So it's definitely getting up there. Yeah. Is that it?
I mean, look at what they did with Soldier Field in Chicago.
Yeah, they did change that.
I don't have anything else. Anybody else have anything else?
I'm dandy.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
Sweet.
Thank you to Rachel's Mediterranean for sponsoring us tonight. I appreciate all their deliciousness. What's your favorite souvlaki, beef or chicken?
I'm a chicken guy. All
Chicken.
The way.
I never.
My
I
beef.
should try beef.
Try it out.
Beef souvlaki.
Expand
Why don't
your
you
horizons.
have some this week.
You gonna do that?
You can get your
Depends.
you can get back your background music. But you
Yeah,
talk about
okay.
Mediterranean.
Close enough.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
in Europe.
I was gonna say that counts. Yeah, everybody knows that Hungary's music is Austria's music. It's right there on their Wikipedia page. All right, I think that's it. We'll be back next week, and
Several weeks after that.
yeah, we're gonna ride this roller coaster with y'all.
We're doing it.
It may not be fun, but we will be there with you.
At least
every
if it
step of
goes
the
down,
way.
we'll be here screaming for you.
That's right. So you're welcome, America.
Somebody should put a roller coaster scream track in post.
And we'll be able to put it in post. Don't worry.
Justin will add that right now.